Whether dumping Tapatio into its whey protein or getting the most famous British girl group to become advisors is the ultimate answer, THG Nutrition must do something to spice up its strategy. So I'll decode that introductory statement or kind of question a bit later in this content, but since THG, aka the company formerly known as the Hut Group, did just release their latest interim trading statement, I thought it would be practical for me to start off this content by running through some high-level financial data. This will obviously update you on how the brands within the THG Nutrition segment performed recently, but more importantly, give context for my expanded strategic commentary on global supplement market dynamics and trends. And just some kind of quick financial mumbo jumbo housekeeping for the bulk of my audience. Since THG is not an American corporation and has different reporting standards for their public markets, this report will be lighter on financial metrics. Also, I did the currency conversion on all of these revenue numbers, so these numbers that you will hear throughout the content will be in US dollars, not British pounds. Moreover, I'll be using the constant currency percentages, which just means that the currency fluctuations of this multinational company are stripped out for the ease of comparisons. Additionally, for those that might not be too familiar with the portfolio composition of THG, don't worry because a recent change is likely leaving everyone a bit confused right now. Previously, THG included, beyond the two branded product divisions called THG Beauty and THG Nutrition, a proprietary end-to-end direct-to-consumer e-commerce SaaS solution called THG Ingenuity. But that division, which I always described as essentially the master switch that powers THG Nutrition and THG Beauty, was successfully demerged right before the end of 2024. And while there are some pertinent ramifications from that strategic decision, I'm going to save that topic until later in this content. And finally, while I believe understanding both branded product divisions of THG is important, this piece of content is only focused on updating you on the THG Nutrition side, which includes the world's largest online sports nutrition brand, MyProtein, and its family of sub-brands, the largest of those being MyVitamins and MyVegan. But let's start with a quick financial overview of THG Nutrition. In the fourth quarter of 2024, THG Nutrition reported generating revenue of approximately $181 million, which was down 9.5% year over year, but was up around 4% on a quarter over quarter sequential basis. If we look at the entire full year of 2024, THG Nutrition didn't perform much better, generating revenue of approximately $722 million, which was down 8.7% year over year. So what's up with these extremely poor results, especially when you consider that the overall global supplement market continues to perform strongly? Well, if you've consumed these THG Nutrition quarterly updates throughout the last few years, I had been running through a decently large collection of maybe like 5 to 7 strategic decisions impacting results. But since little change has occurred in several strategic areas, I'm going to streamline this content section again, leaving some extra room at the end for THG Ingenuity demerger, second order effects commentary, and broader strategic recommendations. But let's start with arguably the most important one first, which is the biggest rebrand in the 20-year history of MyProtein. And when I say biggest, try comprehending the massive undertaking involved around attempting to seamlessly reposition and evolve the business model of an almost billion-dollar sports nutrition legacy brand that operates in 70 territories and has several thousand SKUs. But THG leadership has stated early customer feedback looks to be promising, with MyProtein being the most top-of-mind sports nutrition brand in the UK market and the category leader in driving consumers through the purchase funnel, ranking first in turning brand awareness into consideration and converting buyers into brand loyalists. Moreover, brand recommendation is up 16% year over year, with MyProtein also being the most preferred sports nutrition brand in the UK market. And while transitionary impacts from the rebrand are now behind MyProtein, poor revenue performance in 2024 has reflected in part its decision to temporarily reduce product ranges and keep new product launches to a minimum across each market. Additionally, consider that MyProtein offloaded old packaging products online, which can result in a slower sell-through compared to offline clearance retailers. But THG leadership intentionally sacrificed speed for lower visibility, as it would ensure MyProtein had the best chance of continuing to move upstream in positioning, thus unlocking more global sales channel diversification opportunities. THG still mainly deploys a global digital-first commerce strategy, with about 85% of its total revenue coming from direct-to-consumer and online marketplaces. But THG Nutrition has continued to invest in offline retail partnerships, where they place a limited or exclusive SKU range as part of a bigger demand generation strategy. In terms of the global offline retail landscape, MyProtein is now stocked in over 20,000 retail locations, reporting 29% year-over-year sales growth in this quarter, which this level of momentum is expected to help drive a more diversified retail mix over the next few years. And most recently, this offline retail expansion strategy has included partnering with quick service restaurant brands. As an example, MyProtein partnered with premium bubble tea brand Cup to launch 3 high-protein milk and fruit-infused bubble teas in its 35 stores across the UK in Manchester, Leeds, and London. But the most highlighted offline retail expansion strategy continues to be surrounding the development of MyProtein products that are sold under licensing arrangements. The newest would be a high-protein lunch pots developed in partnership with Christie's, a brand renowned for its healthy, ready meals. When done correctly, these types of retail partnerships boost customer touchpoints and broaden brand appeal. Currently, this strategy is being deployed in the brand's 2 largest markets of the UK and Japan. Next, as promised, let's analyze how the THG Ingenuity demerger will directly and potentially indirectly impact THG Nutrition. And if you didn't pick up on this from my earlier master switch comment, the THG Ingenuity platform is a fully vertically integrated e-commerce solution spanning the entire product and customer journey, from content creation, marketing, and digital commerce through to leading websites and integrated global payment, hosting, courier, and logistics networks. But even now, after the demerger has completed, THG Ingenuity will continue being that master switch for THG Nutrition because of a long-term contract tie-up. And I've mentioned this previously when discussing a potential THG Nutrition IPO, but there had been already an ongoing special project internally to separate the divisions and run them independently. So all of that internal management role-playing and financial modeling is just reality now, making for a less messy THG Ingenuity demerger transitionary period. Regardless, the demerger simplifies THG as a global cash generative health and wellness consumer brands group. THG Nutrition, already the most profitable branded product division, will then significantly improve its free cash flow profile, providing it with expansive strategic optionality, making M&A highly attractive again. But don't just expect that to instantly happen, as most of that extra free cash flow will be allocated to servicing existing debt facilities created from mostly THG Beauty acquisitions. Outside of finance activities, I'd expect a near-term allocation of extra cash flow towards primarily 2 buckets, with the first being something I predicted in a content piece from last November. But in the near term, I'd expect THG Nutrition to utilize the extra net margin buffer for more aggressive brand marketing activities. And that's exactly what happened, with MyProtein leveraging celebrity Terry Crews in their main character energy campaign in Q1. From my understanding, this is the largest brand marketing effort yet by MyProtein that will be seen across multiple platforms, including TV. And I don't want to be overly critical of the creative strategy, because I know the deeper intent behind the campaign will be centered around celebrating real people, real stories, and the power of pushing forward. But Terry Crews had just worked with another large supplement brand last year. So maybe I would have built the campaign around talent that's more ownable from a brand asset perspective long term. But I'm just a peanut in the gallery that no one asked anyways. But I predict the other near-term allocation of extra cash flow will make THG Nutrition leadership feel like they're main characters in the movie Groundhog's Day. See what I did there? And what I'm referring to is the whey protein commodity market price inflation that has been happening over the last year. Now, I've detailed the numerous supply and demand puts and takes involved with this dairy class in previous content on my channel, but I'm more concerned with analyzing the strategic actions taken by MyProtein in the second go around in the last several years. During the previous cycle of sharp commodity market inflation, MyProtein chose not to exercise the highest level of pricing power compared to other global market share leaders, turned off promotional activity, and aggressive customer acquisition strategies for an elongated period. And understanding the deeper strategic positioning moves globally MyProtein would face ahead even before the rebrand announcement, I previously praised leadership for opting to prioritize quality over quantity within its customer file. But then playing the long game got interrupted by what I believe had to be a big strategic leadership fumble around demand planning, as promotional activity in support of the rebrand was elevated more recently again to clear old brand stock. And as I mentioned earlier, MyProtein did attempt to limit visibility by ensuring discounting actions were only done online, but it still undoubtedly reset much of the previous customer file improvement efforts. So then, should MyProtein follow a similar strategy or spice things up this cycle of sharp commodity market inflation? From what leadership noted in the financial documents, it appears that MyProtein will again exercise an everyday great value pricing strategy, giving up short-term margin improvement, as they believe, similar to what I predicted last spring, that whey price reductions are anticipated in the second half of 2025 because of increased US manufacturing capacity. But maybe the very slight strategic spice added by MyProtein this time around will come from those previously mentioned large brand marketing investments that hopefully leads to acquiring the right customers, thus growing consumer engagement and advocacy long term. And since MyProtein faces weaker comparatives in 2025, maybe that 2 steps back and 1 step forward return to growth story will feed the public markets analyst sharks just enough until whey protein input costs decrease and EBITDA percentages increase. And then finally, ending quickly on a sort of adjacent topic, there was a very recent value-added tax decision that involved a UK-based importer, distributor, and wholesaler of natural health supplements. The courts ruled that protein powder products sold should be subject to 0% UK VAT, and accordingly, that company was eligible for retrospective VAT repayment. So while this decision in its current form does not automatically entitle THG to a VAT repayment, a successful claim by leveraging the arguments in that recent case could create an estimated windfall of about $37 million. But I hope you enjoyed the first principles thinking that went into my latest YouTube video. If you did, can you do me a favor by hitting that like button? That quick and free action helps YouTube know my content is worth spreading to more people. Also, we're getting really close to reaching my next subscriber goal, and it would be great if you join me on this journey. But to do that, we need to fix the fact that slightly more than 3/4 of you that are watching this video right now are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, and that hurts my feelings. Regardless, I want to thank you for giving me some of your attention and time, and I'll see you on the next one.